Welcome back to this once-in-a-lifetime trip to the Galapagos Islands. On our way to Fernandina Island, we filmed a beautiful sunrise over Isabela, which is featured in the opening of this video series. This is the 10th in our Galapagos Island series. Fernandina is the westmost, youngest, and third largest island in the Galapagos Islands. The cold upwelling waters of the subsurface Cromwell Current make the water surrounding Fernandina the richest in the Galapagos. Fernandina is the most volcanically active island in the Galapagos, sitting at the center of the hotspot that created the archipelago. The famous Flightless Cormorant, penguins, pelicans, and sea lions also inhabit this island. As we arrived at Fernandina Island, the tide was coming in and several boats with tourists were waiting to go ashore. Upon landing, we observed a large number of marine iguanas coming out of the ocean, a greater number than we had seen on any other island.
Right now we have the opportunity to see some marine iguanas in one of their habitats. They are currently on an intertidal flat.
What we are observing here is they're feeding. Right now, this one particular iguana is feeding on green algae that is located on the rocks. Their diet consists greatly of the marine algae. There are 9 different types, and like I said, we are observing them eating green algae right now. The smaller marine iguanas tend to stay in the intertidal zones during high tide, and they will not go out until low tide. And the larger ones will occasionally dive into the deeper waters at high tide. However, they will eat crickets or grasshoppers and occasionally crustaceans from time to time.
Now God has given each of these iguanas a unique creation feature, or he's imprinted his fingerprint upon them. And the way we see those are things like their short, blunt snout and sharp tricuspid teeth that allow them to really grasp the algae off the rocks and eat it. They also have sharp curved claws that allow them to hold on to these rocks that we're slipping on. Just when the waves come over, they can hold on to them and not be budged. Probably the most amazing, though, is their ability to be a little bit resilient during El Nino years when the brown algae comes up. That algae is toxic to them, but it also kills a lot of the green algae, so they have little to eat. When this is the case, the marine iguanas can actually digest their own bones, and they will shrink in length and width and be able to survive throughout the El Nino event.
Okay, the iguanas actually, after a cold bath here in Fernandina, and they were eaten in the cold water, so they come up to the rocks and they lay down, and they show the back to the sun, and that way they receive a better heat, and actually they can survive because the temperature can kill them if the temperature is very low and also if the temperature is very high. So in this case, the iguanas coming over here, and all of them are in the same position that they receive the sun. When the sun is up and it is really hot, they change the position, and then they show the head directly to the sun, and they stand up so the air coming underneath and cool off in that way. So they can stay under the sun all day long. They're not looking for shade, just they take different positions to receive the sun during the day. So today it is like as a early dive for them. Normally they go from 11 to 1 and about a midday, because that's the best temperature for them to receive sun when they come back from the ocean. So right now, why they're doing this, why they move into the ocean, is because is a low tide, so most of the rocks are exposed, and we have a lot of algae, or these nice the green algae around here, and that's what I love to eat. So when it's a warm temperature, we have El Nino, another kind of algae just grow in the same place, and this is very bad for them because they do not digest so well the food, and they die. So in this case now, it was like a normal, regular season, and actually around here we have a lot of iguanas, and very safety around this place, together with a lot of other animals like sea lions, like Flightless Cormorants. And actually, it's a really beautiful place, this area. Now, it's a pristine island in Fernandina. We are in the west part of the Galápagos now, where the animals looks a little bigger, the iguanas, because the food is better around this place. Also, we can see a lot of babies iguanas around here. It is because it's the season for them. So, and if you see those small iguanas are trying to eat, but quickly, because they are not so safe in the water. When the water come in, they go out. So they build on the nest with the algae that grow here in this place. So this one, when it's a breeding season, they go there and take the algae and bring to the nest. So it is really interesting to see that, and the nest is full of algae around that.
We need to name this hospital corner. We've seen one iguana with its left back leg missing, which might have been a predator or caught on a rock. Probably not a shark, it would have eaten the whole thing. Then we've seen one with a wonky tail, which was broken, possibly when it was playing with the sea lion. The sea lions like to play with their tails. And then we saw one with a stump of a tail, which might regenerate. So I'm naming this corner Hospital Corner for iguanas.
Wow, guys, look at this huge colony of marine iguanas.
Amazing.
Yeah, you know what I was noticing with their faces? They like flat mouths. I think that's because when they're eating the green algae, it's so they can get down and get close to it and get enough of it, and so they don't, scrape their faces and hurt themselves. Then also their tails are really flat. That's for when they're swimming around, they're able to swim better, and also when they're climbing along the rocks, it doesn't scrape along and they don't rub it raw. Like if there were spikes in the bottom, it would be rubbed raw because they're constantly climbing over a lava rock.
Wow, did you also notice their black color? That's to camouflage them in the lava rocks. Now the small ones are the ones that really need protection. Their main predator is going to be the flightless cormorant, but the large one, their only predator is going to be sharks, so they're pretty safe.
Hey, did you guys know that the flightless cormorant is the largest species of cormorant?
Oh, wow.
And then also, the flightless cormorant and the penguin are the only two flightless marine birds.
In the world?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The marine iguanas are also black for another reason, and that is to retain their short range of temperature. The black helps attract the sunlight and keep them warm enough.
Their body temperature goes from 14 degrees Celsius to
40 degrees Celsius.
their best temperature is 37.5 degrees Celsius.
Woo! And if they get below or above this temperature, they could die.
Isn't that sad?
Very sad. Should have a moment of silence, I think.
We come over here, there is a very old area around the other side with the vegetation. So we were looking for the tortoises, just in case, or maybe excrement or something like that. But we were not, no tortoises are gone for sure. And actually, of course, it's kind of difficult to walk to the top. But actually, these reptiles just disappear from here because it's the lava actually killed them. So we can see on the distance, this volcano here is basically because one volcano, the place that we see over there, it's where we have the iguanas, the pink iguanas. So it's amazing and it's difficult to understand why we have the pink iguanas only on that volcano. And they discovered about 15 years ago that we have this is just brand new, and the scientific name it was just a few years, like 3-4 years ago, and they still working in, because
I noticed it was Rosada and stuff, and they changed it to Martha or something.
Marta, yeah, it's Conolopus martai now, but it's still working in that. So that's the volcano that we're looking now. But it's really interesting, And another thing is, the reptiles, they normally they love the warm or the hot area, and in iguanas we have around the coast, like Plaza Island, Santa Fe Island is not so high, but around here they nest on the top of the calderas. The same thing around there. We have iguanas, then they go up to the caldera, to the top, which is really high, higher than Santa Cruz, looking for a place to nest the eggs. As you see, it's impossible to find a place around here where they can lay the eggs, because everything is covered by lava. So they have just a few options. It's not like the rest of the Galapagos. So around here is really unique. It's a new place. So they go to the top of the caldera, and then right there they go down a little bit, because we have a cliff over there, and it's very unstable. That it's just a scoria, and with that they just go down to lay the eggs around that part. So this is what they have to do to survive.
So what we're looking at here is a magnificent lava cactus, or what the locals call a catillo de lava, and its scientific name is Brachycereus. And an interesting thing about that is it's derived from the Greek word brachys, which means short, and the Latin word cereus, which means candle. So one interesting fact about the lava cactus is that it can only grow in these particular lava fields. Once these lava fields are broken down, these lava cactuses will thin out in population. And then other species of cacti or other plants will start taking over the area. As you can see, it has tiny spines on each of the individual stems, and these are their leaves, so to speak. And every now and then it will bloom with flowers. However, these flowers will blossom right before dawn, and then when the sun comes up a few hours later, they will actually shrivel up and die. The fruits of these cactuses are little red berries, and they will also come up. They are around 2 to 5.5 centimeters wide. And this particular lava cactus that we're looking at now seems to be a very young lava cactus. When they are younger, their colors tend to be a yellow-green to dark green, and then as they grow older, they become black to dark gray.
If you look here, you can see all the driftwood and all these sea urchins and the small sand that was deposited by the 2-meter or 6-foot tsunami that came across here earlier this year.
Right now we're looking at some flightless cormorants on Fernandina Island. This is one of the 2 islands that the flightless cormorant are found on. They're found here and on the west side of Isabella Island. They are a very unique bird, and that is why I love them so much. They are blackish brown in color, and the adults have turquoise eyes, whereas the juveniles actually have a dull brown colored eye. They have very rough plucked looking plumage, and their tail is wedge shaped, and the feathers are very strong. The muscles around their wings, the ones that would be used for flight in other birds, are very reduced in size, so they're not very conducive to flying, and that is why they are flightless. However, they have very strong legs, which are situated further back than most birds. And this causes them to stand more upright when they're on land, and they look sort of clumsy when they're walking. However, they are very good divers, and they use their feet to propel them through the water, and their tail as a rudder. The males are actually better divers and can dive further and for a longer amount of time. Flightless cormorants nest on very close to the coast, and they really don't venture very far from the coast ever, and they stay very close to where they are born. Their nests are built from algae and other debris that the male brings back to the female, and they continue to build their nest even through the incubation period. We just watched the flightless cormorant fishing, and right now it's actually drying off its wings and cleaning itself. After they come out of the water, like other cormorants, they hold out their wings to dry, and their wings are actually designed, the feathers are designed so they do not absorb too much water, so they don't become too waterlogged, but they also have enough air so they're buoyant too, but not too buoyant so they can actually dive underwater.
That's quite a fingerprint, isn't it?
Yes.
Right here we have a specimen, a Sally Lightfoot crab that we're fortunate enough to see in the process of molting. This process is where the crab will molt its old shell or exoskeleton, have a new one in its place that will be larger, and in this case of the Sally Lightfoot crab, it's going to be a brighter and more vibrant shade of orange-red. Sally Lightfoot crabs are seen throughout the Galapagos. They're protected by the Galapagos National Park. They can't be fished or anything like that. They live just above the water level and forage by using their front claws to pick algae off the rocks. And they'll also sometimes scavenge the dead bodies of seals, birds, and fish. More frequently, though, they're preyed upon by things like birds, also some predatory fish. But their name actually comes from their habit where they quickly will scamper across the water and the rocks. It looks almost like they're walking on water, jumping from one rock to the other. When they have their larvae, or their baby, they are larvae that are planktonic in the sea and will float around until they are able to grow into crabs themselves, at which point they will come back to the rocks here in Galapagos, and those crabs are going to be a dark shade of black or gray, which camouflages them from larger predators as well as other crabs, so they have the opportunity to grow. The males are going to continue to get brighter, but they're going to tend to be a little bit lighter in color and more brown or dark gray than the females, who are generally the most brightest and vibrant. Out here in the Galapagos, we have the unique opportunity to see many species together at once, like the frigate bird, which is a pirate of the sky, the marine iguanas basking in the sun, and the flightless cormorant preparing to feed its young.
During lunch, we navigated across the channel to Tagus Bay on Isabella Island.
This is the crew of the Galaxy, and I wanted to thank them very, very much for their service to us. We've had some incredible service, both on the boat and in the little pangas and on the islands with Jaime. And we just want to say thank you very much. They've done an excellent job. They sure know how to serve us. So I'm going to say thank you, Jaime. I appreciate it, Captain. Very, very good. Your name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Carlos.
Carlos?
Manuel.
Manuel?
Jefferson.
Jefferson?
Julian.
Julian?
Saul.
Saul?
Mauricio.
Mauricio? Angel. Thank you very much. Thank you for dressing up for us. Tell them thank you. It's very good. Okay.
The science team had an opportunity to snorkel. About half decided to go into the cove and examine the marine life underwater. After changing, the Pangas took us to a landing site where we climbed steep stairs and hiked to the top of one of the cinder cones.
This isn't steep at all. You think for yourself.
What's the name of this place?
Argos Bay, or the Cove.
It's one of the famous anchor place, and you can see a lot of native boats around here.
Cinder cones, sometimes called parasitic cones, are nearly perfect cone shapes and result from explosive eruptions in which a lot of gas is present in the volcano's magma. The liquid lava is thrown into the air as fountains. Small gassy particles solidify, rain down, and form a hill around the volcanic vent. Cinder cones are typically found farther inland than the tuff cones. Tuff cones, on the other hand, are vertical rock formations consisting of hardened ash particles called tuff, formed when water is present during an eruption. They are usually found near the coast. During an eruption, explosions occur in hot lava as it pours into cold water. Fragments are sent flying in all directions and spattered down on the ground, hardening into cone shape.
Taking a picture right there. Well, that's an amazing perspective. Okay. One, two, skip.
Ha ha ha.
Thank you so much.
You on the boat in it?
I've had no service. I am not texting or doing anything.
You have service and somehow do
I just come on.
You want your glasses on? For how long?
Almost 28 years.
Whoa. What?
Good.
One,
Did you
two.
So the formation is normally happen in the shallow water or underwater. So the ashes with the temperature, with the cold temperature of the water, just become compact. And actually, this is why we can see little formations here. It's very easy for the water to destroy this place, you know. So this we have here, and also behind you, we have this same cone. So we call Tuff cone. Yeah, we're going to see later on the Cinder Cone, but it's completely different because the Cinder Cones normally we have on this happen. The formation is on the surface, not on the water. This is different.
Here we are at Tagus Cove, which is a flooded valley that is actually in between two very large tuff cones. Each of these tuff cones is covered with many, actually, scalesia trees. And also, what you're looking at now is Darwin's Lake, which is a saltwater lagoon that is actually above sea level, but is still affected with very slight tides. These two tuff cones that we were in between, happened during an eruption, meaning that water was present and the tuff was formed. These tuff cones are a form of compacted volcanic ash, and they are normally found near the coast.
After hiking to the top, we looked down at the black mangroves, which were the habitat for some black mangrove finches. Only about 150 remain in the world.
You're on camera.
We are around the base of one of the volcanoes in Galapagos. The name of this volcano, it's Darwin volcano. And we can see just around the other side of the bay, Tagus Cove and Fernandina, and actually some tuff cones around the lower part where we are now. But around the other side, we have a new land, so there's new eruptions around there. We don't have information about the last eruption around this place, but we can see it's kind of new. So we have the mangrove finch that live on that particular area in the Galapagos. Only about 150 of them, so that's just in all the world. So it's endangered, that species. So the Darwin Foundation, together with the National Park, they are working on that. So they sent few of them to the south, a little bit to the south of here, Urbina Bay. So they are living over there, and it's really very good. They found about 8 babies, so which is a really good numbers, It's very good, for them. And actually, they try to reproduce in that area. So it is kind of really difficult for them to survive. So this is that particular area, so that we can not go over there. So this is just reserved for them, So we hope that in the future they can move to other areas where we have mangroves around the west part of Isabela. So let's see if the situation changes for them. Also around here, this is Canal Bolivar. It's the really rich in food of this canal, because we have the influence of a Cromwell Current. So in this place where we snorkeling, we saw penguins, we saw a lot of turtles, Flightless Cormorants, sea urchins, a lot of fish, and some sea lions also. So the most of the fish reproduce in this canal here. It's really very important for all the Galapagos, because from here, they are small, stay around here, and then the current take them into the central area, bring food, because this is a rich in salinity and food, and it's kind of cold because we have the Cromwell Current from the west. All these white trees around here are sandalwood tree. And we can see that it's a little different. The climate around here, it's still raining. So this is why we have a lot of vegetation. But in some places in the Galapagos, it's dry, like yesterday we saw around the south part. So we are on top of this Cinder Cone. This is a cinder material, very light. And this never happened underwater. So this formation happened when this was on land already and on the surface. The same thing, the other lava field that we have around the other side. So this is a cinder. Rain is coming, so we need to start to walk back to not damage the camera.
Rain threatened to drive us away, but only a drizzle came. Traverse it. I'll be careful.
It's right behind you.
More authority.
Okay, let's go.
Everyone listen.
Tomorrow we have another good day. Tomorrow we go to James Island. James Island.
We were ready to start the trip. Wow.
Wow. That's a long way.
Yeah, so they're right here.
Yeah.
And I was checking in the GPS.
Yes.
It's about 20 minutes when you get into the Equator.
Oh, the zero?
Go up and then go up to see the Equator. Okay, so actually for this 3-4 hours we're gonna have like good weather. And later on around here, we're probably have a little bit of rock and roll. But it's the waves go to
North of Isabela, we have a group of them.
Gracias.
opposed to pass.
Then we make a sign that so that other people can also get in.
You can zoom.
Que llegue lista para presionar. ¡Uno! Que llegue lista para que hagan clic. And ready. 5, 3, 2. With all the flashes, I thought we were at July 4th. I'll be king yours. Thank you. Gracias, señor. Gracias. It's probably like this. Okay.
So I have a little Captain Probably thinks we're crazy.
Is he entirely wrong?
Okay, just I'm gonna head out this way.
We just like to hide it.
Gracias.
Gracias. What a great man.
Completely crazy. Thank you very much.
Was great. We passed the equator.
Yeah.
We did it. We did it.
Great.